Hey everyone, my name is Cooper Johnson. I'm the Voice User Experience Designer here at Gridspace. Today I want to define a very special term for conversation design for you all, especially in the particular specialization that I work in, which is voice agent design. Grace does business over the phone, helps people achieve real-world goals, get meaningful work done all over the phone, exclusively in the medium of voice. So, what is virtual agent self-identification? More than just Grace saying, I'm a virtual agent, it's a bundle of best practices that we do to optimize our playbooks. And the playbooks, if you haven't built a Grace agent before, are the guide for telling our virtual agents what they're supposed to do over the phone, what work they're supposed to achieve, how to help people, and even gives them some hints about how to use their generative AI capabilities to repair the conversation and get back on track when it wanders off. Virtual agent self-identification namely takes form as a page that we will always include in the playbook, a page that is completely unto itself to achieve one goal. And we'll call this page in our playbook something like VA self-ID, just to keep it short, but nice and human readable. And on that page, we'll put a script that usually goes something like this. Hi, my name is Grace. I am a virtual agent working for so-and-so company or in the so-and-so department at so-and-so company. And then we'll move on off that page. So it'll have script that just says, my name is this, and my job title is this, and the job title will be very descriptive and revealing that Grace, or whatever we've chosen to call Grace, is not human. So we'll say virtual agent, voice virtual agent, AI-powered assistant, AI voice assistant. It's really up to whatever sounds best to the end user who's implementing Grace, but it just needs to be something that makes it very clear that Grace is not a human. So once we put that in our playbook, that'll be an indication that it always needs to happen because it's an unskippable page in our playbook that doesn't ask any questions. It just exists for Grace to share that information. But we'll back that up and reinforce it innately in Grace by going into the bot profile page, which contains the playbook, the knowledge base, and then various settings about Grace's identity. And we can set Grace's name there to be whatever we want. We should remember to make it match in the playbook script though, if we do change it. And then we can also, making sure that it matches the playbook, set Grace's job title. And if we make sure that Grace's innate sense of name and job title aligns with what we scripted out in the playbook, we can be 100% sure that Grace will A, always self-identify as not human, and then B, if questioned about that, either because someone is unhappy or someone just didn't hear or did not understand, like if someone's asking, hold up, are you a robot? Or I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Or virtual agent, does that mean you're an AI? If anyone goes off script like that, we'll move past there in the playbook because we set our bot profile settings such that Grace understands what it is in this context. Grace will be able to respond, yes, I am a voice robot, I am a virtual agent. I am not a human. We can experiment and practice a little bit with how Grace repeats the fact that she is a non-human entity in that case, but Grace will always be able to do it. So again, first stated on the playbook page, my name is Grace. I am some sort of non-human job title holding entity, and then we'll back it up on the bot profile page so that Grace always retains that information, and on demand at any point in the conversation, if a human being needs clarification that Grace is not human, Grace will be able to respond elegantly and helpfully. Let's get to maybe the most important part of this, burying the lead just a little here perhaps. Why do we bother with VA self-identification? Well, for one, there are probably compliance matters at work depending on where you are. We're going to set that aside because that's outside the scope of this video. Let's focus on how VA, virtual agent self-identification, is really important to a conversation just when we account for basic human dignity and being polite. I firmly believe, and I've seen borne out in practice, that the more honest Grace is about being non-human, the better conversations with increased successful outcomes we'll see when people start actually interacting with Grace. No one likes to be deceived, and as AI voice speech technology gets better and better, especially if the sonic conditions of the phone call on the receiving end aren't that great, it's pretty easy not to notice at first that you are speaking not to a human just based on purely vocal cues, especially because all the quirks that make human voices human are getting better and better baked in. to TTS. We don't want anyone to feel deceived. That's probably number one. And people might actually be excited to be talking to an AI and may ultimately be even more happy to speak on the phone than they would to a human being. Setting expectations, if you want to break it down into super fine detail, even the power dynamics of a conversation, just everyone wants to know where they stand with Grace. People may code switch into a way they feel more comfortable speaking to an AI, which is a good thing. We want people to be able to interact with conversational voice systems in whatever style of conversation they feel most capable, or what's going to get them to a positive resolution the fastest. And people may also scope the type of things they want to talk about in their conversation, focusing on one thing and perhaps setting aside things that they also would like to speak to the company Grace represents about, that we can ask at the end of the conversation or even mid-conversation for Grace to comment on whether that's within scope for Grace to help with, or if it's something that needs to be passed to a human, because we've made it very, very clear that Grace is not a human. Conversational outcomes are just going to be better across the board when everyone knows, in this case is really just two parties, Grace and a human being, know where they stand, know who they're speaking to, and are aligned on having a conversation that works towards some goal. Virtual agent self-identification, treat it like it's mandatory, because it probably is. As always, if you have topics you would like to see us make a video about, whether it be something that you've always wanted to know about AI, but were too afraid to ask, or maybe something that's bleeding edge, you saw a paper, you saw a news article about something that's super new in AI, post it in the comments. And here at Gridspace, pretty much everyone likes talking about speech technology all day long, so it'll be super fun for us. You can like, you can subscribe, you can go outside and get some sunshine. It's all the same to me. Have a good one.